Hello and welcome to Power to the People with me, Graeme Pryce. I just had to make a quick video about something that's happened in the UK today, which has made me genuinely quite pleased and a little bit impressed with the police, which is certainly something I don't say very often. It's only going to be a very short one, so I hope you can hang around till the end. I'm just going to give you a quick update on what's happened with Tommy 10 Names himself, our patriotic far-right friend with his Irish passport, who spends most of his time in other countries snorting things that I can't say at the start of a video and drinking his way through the money he's grifted off the kind of dim-witted thunder plebs that are probably going to be leaving comments defending him underneath this video. This weekend doesn't seem to be going to plan for Tommy. I'll tell you why right after this. I was just looking at my channel analytics and I noticed that 53% of people who watch my videos weren't subscribed. The pain. Come on, just have a quick check that you've subbed, liked and rang the bell. Make a skinny old scouser a little bit happier today. Tommy ran away while the Farage riots that he helped incite were taking place in the summer. You see, he's a man that likes to skim the solids that rise to the top of the boiling pot of Islamophobia that he's helped create, but you won't ever find him at the coalface. No, he's spent quite a lot of his time in prison already throughout his life, so he isn't too keen on the idea of getting given another 3 years for chucking bricks at a police officer or robbing trays of sausage rolls from Greggs or looting branches of Lush. You know, the type of stuff that normal, rational people who want to peacefully protest about their legitimate concerns do. No, Tommy finds it much safer to lie on a sun lounger somewhere, blowing his nose and sipping sangrias while telling dim-witted people in the UK that live in drab, grey, inner-city areas that every single problem they have is the result of the brown bloke who owns the local Indian takeaway, or that fella from Iraq who took them home in a cab when they were wrecked on Stella and Jägermeisters and threw up in the town centre last Tuesday. Of course, it takes a bit of stoking to keep a fire the size of the one he needs to feed his habits going though, so occasionally he will pop back to the UK for a little while to lead a protest or release a documentary. He was planning to do a bit of such grifting this weekend, in fact. Yeah, the plan apparently was to arrive back in the UK early enough in the week to be filmed being arrested at the airport. He would then spend a couple of days at His Majesty's leisure, while his team of solicitors that he can afford because a racist dickhead and his money are easily parted, and was likely to enjoy a few days of publicity as the right-wing rage-bait tabloids put him on the front page, because of course they would, wouldn't they? Then his army of utterly gormless knobshafts would flood social media with bullshit about how much of an injustice was being created against Tommy, and all that would set the tone perfectly for the protest he had planned on Saturday the 26th in London. However, it hasn't really worked out that way, has it? I did think it was a little bit odd that he wasn't arrested upon entering the country, as he clearly played a large part in the Farage riots in summer, but it seems the police may have been one step ahead of him this time. No, he didn't get the publicity of being filmed under arrest at the airport, red-faced and indignant at the sheer injustice of it all and how his free speech was being curtailed, despite arriving with a camera crew. So it was on to plan B. Apparently the evil little shit handed himself in at Folkestone police station today. He arrived with an entourage of thugs in a black SUV, carrying what he calls his prison bag, after tipping off the local racists and bellends that he'd be there at 3 PM. I feel his prison bag was likely for show, as he will have fully expected to be bailed in time for tomorrow's far-right proceedings. A lot of what Tommy does is for show. But it seems somebody further up the chain has got wise to this, as he's actually been remanded in custody until Monday. I would have loved to have seen his face when the custody suite officer said to him, "Oh yes, you will be bailed, Mr. Yaxley Lennon, but not until Monday, so you'll be needing your prison bag." I don't think that was what he was expecting, was it? Or maybe it was what he was expecting. Maybe this is just plan B to make the best of it. Get his face in the papers today so some extra racist dimwits might turn up tomorrow. Who fucking knows with that twat? Thank you for watching if you've gotten this far. I'm not sure if we can attribute it to changes at the top of the police force since we threw out the government that actually was far right and replaced it with one led by a person who likes to imprison the far right. But this is certainly an interesting development, isn't it? While they steadfastly ignored the hundreds of thousands of people that marched in London to protest austerity, or the many more that marched through London to protest the absolute farce of a fuck around and find out situation that Brexit became, or how they, ignored the subsequent rejoin the EU protests, you can be certain that our obviously impartial and totally responsible media will be there tomorrow covering Tommy's little protest. You can expect full coverage of the 1,000 or so pissed up, gammon-faced dickheads with jaws swinging like typewriters, waving Union Jacks. Obviously, Tommy won't be at the head of them. He'll be eating food seasoned with spit and kitchen floor dust in a holding cell in Folkestone, hopefully. You can expect a few po-faced bellends on GBBs, and a few dickheads like Farage or maybe even Richard Tice to be interviewed on actual proper news channels in the next few days, though, talking about how these people have legitimate concerns. Obviously, I won't be watching them. Now, of course, there is a lot more I could say about Tommy Robinson, and I do fully intend to do so. But for now, that's as much of what I've got to say as I'm going to say today. Ta-ra-la. Right wing, right wing, wage, wait, blate, Nate, wait, tabloid, oh Jesus. Right wing, rage, bait, tabloids. Made a bit of a rod for me on back there, haven't I, with that one?